It seems like AI is everywhere we turn these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely a buzzword right now.
But when it comes to HR, it's not just hype though, right?
Right.
The stuff you gave me makes a really strong case for how AI is like totally changing things up.
No.
We've got articles and research summaries,
Oh.
and even some of your own personal notes to dig into.
Yeah,
And I gotta say, I was really fascinated by some of the examples like we're gonna get into.
I bet.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see how AI is being used to tackle some of the biggest problems that HR teams face,
Yeah, for sure.
Like all that time spent on scheduling or digging through resumes.
Yeah.
Or even just trying to figure out which employees might be thinking about leaving.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
And that's where AI comes in, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
before we get into all the nitty-gritty details,
sure.
let's just make sure we're all on the same page about what AI and HR actually means.
Okay, yeah, so it's basically using machines, to do things that normally need human intelligence.
Okay.
But specifically within HR.
Okay.
So think automating those repetitive tasks.
Right.
Analyzing tons of data to get insights.
Yeah.
And even personalizing experiences for employees.
Okay, that makes sense. But isn't that just a fancy way of saying automation? Like, how is it actually different?
Well, traditional automation is really good for those simple rule-based tasks.
Uh-huh.
But AI takes it a step further.
Okay.
So imagine a system that can not only scan resumes for keywords,
Right.
but also understand the context of a candidate's experience, what it all really means.
Wow.
Yeah,
So it's not just matching keywords, it's like actually understanding the meaning behind them.
exactly.
Okay.
And that's where AI techniques like natural language processing are so important.
Okay.
They let machines actually interpret and understand human language,
Oh.
which makes them super powerful for things like candidate screening or even analyzing employee feedback.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this could be like a total game changer for HR. But how is this actually playing out in the real world? Like, what are we seeing?
Well, one area where we're seeing a lot of innovation is recruitment.
Okay.
Companies are using AI platforms to automate job postings, screen candidates better,
Yeah.
and even schedule interviews,
Wow.
which saves a ton of time and effort.
That sounds amazing, especially for companies that are struggling to find qualified people.
Definitely.
But what about the risk of bias?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some concerns about AI making existing biases in hiring even worse.
It's a valid concern for sure, but what's interesting is that your sources actually suggest that AI can help reduce bias.
Really?
Yeah, if
Okay.
it's developed and used responsibly.
Yep.
There was one study that found that using AI screening tools actually led to a 15% increase in minority candidates getting hired.
Wow, that's incredible. So
Yeah.
AI can actually help create a more diverse workforce?
That's the potential, but it does require careful thought about the algorithms that are being used and ongoing monitoring, just to make sure there aren't any unintended consequences.
Okay, so responsible implementation is key.
Yes, definitely.
I see.
Very important.
Now, I know onboarding is another area
Oh.
where AI is having a big impact.
Uh-huh.
So what are some of the ways AI is being used to make that process smoother?
Well, think about all those tedious tasks involved in onboarding,
Yeah, like what?
like paperwork, policy reviews, training modules.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
AI can automate a lot of that.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow,
creating a much smoother, more engaging experience for new hires.
that's huge.
Yeah,
For both the new employee and the HR team.
absolutely.
And by the way, if anyone listening is super interested in the power of AI, but in marketing,
Yeah.
we have a great resource for you guys.
Definitely check out mappingyourmarketing.com.
Yes.
It has a whole section specifically on AI in different fields, including HR,
Awesome. Definitely worth checking out.
for sure.
Now let's talk about performance management.
Oh.
How is AI changing the way companies track and measure employee performance?
So this is where AI gets really interesting.
Okay.
Imagine systems that can analyze employee data from all sorts of sources.
Like what?
Emails, project management tools, even performance reviews,
Okay.
to provide a complete picture of how someone's doing.
So it's not just about those once-a-year performance reviews anymore.
Exactly. AI allows for continuous performance monitoring and feedback,
Wow.
which can be super valuable for both employees and managers.
Yeah, I can see how that would lead to more personalized development plans
Uh-huh.
and maybe even help identify potential issues before they become huge problems.
You got it. AI can help spot patterns that might indicate an employee is struggling,
Okay.
or maybe even thinking about leaving the company. It's like having a heads up, before someone actually quits.
Oh, yeah, totally. And speaking of retention, My notes mentioned some pretty amazing stats about how much money companies can save with AI and HR.
Right.
Yeah, like one article said companies could save up to 30% on HR costs.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It's mind-blowing. No wonder companies are like jumping on this.
Yeah, for sure.
But are cost savings the only benefit? What about like employee engagement? And
Yeah.
how does it affect the whole company culture?
That's where the personalization part of AI really comes in.
Okay.
Like, imagine systems that recommend training courses based on your skills and what you want to do in your career,
Okay.
or even suggest jobs within the company that match what you're looking for.
Wow. So it's not just about efficiency and automation then.
Well, not at all.
It's also about making work more engaging and fulfilling.
Exactly. And that can really impact the whole company culture,
Oh,
create a feeling of growth and development.
right.
Your notes even mentioned how AI can analyze employee feedback
Oh, yeah.
to find areas where the company culture might need some work.
So it's like having a finger on the pulse of how everyone's feeling.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's really cool. But I imagine with all this data collection,
Mm-hmm.
there are some privacy concerns, right?
Mm. Oh, absolutely. Data privacy is super important.
Yeah.
Companies need to be upfront about what data they're collecting, how they're using it,
Right.
and how they're keeping it safe. It's all about trust, you know?
Trust is key, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. Now, you mentioned AI can help companies spot problems before they get too big.
Yeah.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure. Let's say a company has a lot of people quitting in one department.
Okay.
AI can analyze data from exit interviews, performance reviews, even emails
Wow, yeah.
to figure out why people are unhappy.
Okay.
Maybe there aren't enough opportunities for growth, or maybe there's a problem with a manager.
I see.
So AI can pinpoint the issue, and HR can step in and fix it before it gets worse.
That's really powerful.
It is, and it's not just about reacting to problems either. AI can help companies plan for the future.
Okay, how?
For example, by looking at trends in the job market and the skills needed for new jobs.
Right.
AI can help companies see if their employees have the right skills for the future,
That's amazing.
and then they can create training programs to fill any gaps.
It's like having a crystal ball for talent management.
Kind of.
Speaking of the future, what are some of the new trends in AI and HR that you found?
One thing that's becoming popular is using AI-powered virtual assistants.
Okay.
These aren't just basic chatbots that answer simple questions.
Got it.
These are really smart systems that can help employees with all sorts of things throughout their time at the company.
So like a virtual assistant that can help with onboarding benefits, enrollment,
Mm-hmm.
performance reviews, even career development.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
And they're getting better and better at understanding and responding to normal human language.
Wow. So they're easy to use.
Yeah, really user-friendly.
This all sounds so futuristic, but I'm also wondering about the downsides.
Sure.
I know some people are worried AI will replace human jobs.
Yeah, that's a common concern.
What did your research say about that?
Well, most experts seem to think that AI is more likely to change human jobs rather than completely replace them.
Okay.
The key is to help employees learn new skills
Right.
so they can work effectively alongside AI.
So it's about working together, not competing.
Exactly. AI can take care of those repetitive, data-heavy tasks.
Yeah, like the boring stuff.
Exactly. And that frees up HR professionals to focus on the more human side of things,
Okay.
like building relationships, coaching employees, and creating a positive work environment.
So it seems like the real power of AI in HR is about using tech to help people do their best work.
Exactly. It's not about replacing humans, it's about giving them better tools.
Now, as we're wrapping up this deep dive, I'm kind of curious about something.
Okay, what's up?
We talked about how AI can predict things like employees quitting or skills gaps,
Right.
but could it also be used to kind of like anticipate and manage other stuff at work?
That's a really interesting question, and it's something researchers are looking into right now.
Cool.
Think about using AI to predict changes in company culture,
Okay,
or even how new policies will affect employee morale.
that's amazing. It would be like having a roadmap for the future of work.
Yeah, it's a really exciting possibility, and it shows just how powerful AI can be.
Totally.
But like with any powerful tool, we need to be careful and make sure AI is used ethically and for the benefit of everyone.
Well said. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening.
I'm glad to hear that.
I feel like I have a much better understanding of how AI is changing HR and how important human judgment still is.
It's been great exploring this with you. Remember, the future of work is being shaped right now, and AI is a big part of that conversation. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay human.